Wesley has been a member of Carrollwood Toastmasters for 4 years. He joined to work on his public speaking and speech evaluation. Today, he works as a supervisor, leading the maintenance of several utility solar plants. Tonight, he has a story to tell. It may be funny. Maybe it's not, but you know what? Let's welcome him anyway. Please welcome Wesley Sherwood, who will tell us, Say What? The title is Say What? Wesley Sherwood. Come on down.
My fellow Toastmasters, tonight I have a very interesting story to tell you. Well, it's interesting to me. I leave it up to you to judge whether or not you find it interesting as well. I am not talking about that Facebook post where I went over to Arizona and had a great time. I'm not here to tell you about the time I went over to Philadelphia to hang out with my brother and thought I was on vacation, but instead helped him move. Tonight, I want to tell you about something a little bit more personal. And normally, I'm not the kind of person that goes into too much details about my personal life. I'm a very private person. But my fellow Toastmasters, life happened. It happened to me very, very quickly. Several months ago, while in the pandemic, I was not able to go to the gym. And I'm the type of person that likes to keep myself in shape and exercise and watch what I eat. I mentioned on several speeches ago that I'm a vegan and that I also meditate. So I was at home exercising. I had downloaded this app and I was using it to exercise. I will not mention the name of that app because tonight I'm not here to promote or dispromote an app. I was working out one day and I was doing some dips. And suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my back. And I said to myself, that happens all the time. I'll bounce back. But over time, that pain just continued to grow and grow and grow. And then it started hurting in my shoulder. So I said to myself, what's going on here? Am I just getting old? And my intuition said, no, you're not getting old. You may have a lot of white hair. You may be bald on top of your head, but you are certainly not getting old. You're a very active young man. You exercise every day and you like to ride ATVs and go on zip lines. You are not old. You're just adventurous. I went to the doctor after it was hurting for about 4 months. As many of my fellow male Toastmasters know, we don't go to the doctor unless something's really broke. A little bit of pain, we'll keep going. Well, the look on Andy's face says, I don't think so. See, Andy's a doctor, he knows better. The first time you start feeling some pain, you should just go to the doctor and find out what's wrong. At least you'll have the reassurance that nothing is wrong or something terrible is wrong. I went to the doctor and he told me that he'd like me to do an MRI. And he would like to put some dye in my muscles so he can see what's going on with it. Fun times are ahead. I went to the doctor. I thought, oh, well, what kind of experience could this be? Till I laid down and they told me they had to numb my shoulder in order to put this gigantic needle in there. And I go, what? Just to put some dye in? I mean, I could literally rub the stuff on myself. Come on. Anyway, my MRI checked in. I went off to Arizona. I had a great time riding some ATVs, even with my shoulder hurting. I came back from Arizona and I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor. And he sat me down and he said, Mr. Sherwood, you tore your rotator cuff. I go, what? I've heard of that injury happen to weightlifters. And he said to me, how did you tear your rotator cuff? And I'm looking at him like, I'm literally white as a sheet because I'm under shock. And he's saying, how did you hurt? And I'm just sweating, I'm perspiring. I'm like that pig in the butcher shop I referenced earlier. And all I'm thinking is, what? And he says, yes, we're going to have to do surgery. I'm like, can you just put like some ice on it? Can you just give me therapy? Can I just get acupuncture? Well, all of a sudden it felt like the room was shrinking. It felt like the room was spinning, and I felt really, really thirsty. He says, no, Mr. Sherwood, we have to do surgery. And at that point, he began to show me pictures of what he was going to do. He says, I need to make 2 incisions in your back. They're really small, about 1 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there with a scope, and I'm going to go in there, and I'm basically going to take your muscle, pull it together, put a couple of threads through it, and tie it to a screw into the bone. I thought the room was smaller before. Now the room felt gigantic. It felt like I was just falling and falling, and there was no bottom to the story. However, somehow or the other, after millions of hours of research and looking up all kinds of other remedies, I came to the conclusion that surgery was my only option. It's not like a car. If your car breaks, you just go to the mechanic. But with medicine, for some reason, we like to go to every other source before we finally come around and say, okay, I'll go to the doctor. So what I did is I went and I had the surgery. Whoa, what a crazy thing that was. Sitting in that triage, waiting for my surgery, I had, like they say in Jamaica, I had Dick, Tom, and Harry show up. I'm like, who are all these people? Hi, Mr. Sherwood. Can you please repeat your name? Can you tell us your birthday? I felt like I told him my date of birth and my name 100 times. I felt like, why don't you just let me record it and then you'll know what it is? And then the doctor showed up and he said, we're here to work on your left shoulder. And he went and he put his initials on there. And then 2 other nurses came in and they said, where are your witnesses? We're going to do surgery on your which shoulder? I said, my left shoulder. They said, here's a magic marker. Now you put your initials on there. We're making sure we don't cut the wrong shoulder. And I'm sitting there, I'm trembling. And then the anesthesiologist come around. He's really nice, Dr. Simmons. He says, are you okay? And I said, I'm nervous. I mean, it's not every day you go and get yourself cut open. I know I want this surgery, but I really don't want this surgery. So he went ahead and he said, do you drink? I said, no. He says, don't worry about it. I'm going to get you high today. You sound like you have an accent. Are you from the Caribbean? I said, yeah, man, I'm from Jamaica. He said, oh, you're Jamaican? Okay, I'm from Panama. And like I said, I got you. The next thing I know, I was being wheeled out of the hospital into a waiting car heading home. I don't remember half of the stuff that happened. I remember my nerves getting blocked. I remember my arm being worked on. I remember leaving the surgery center with my left arm completely numb and with this wonderful attire you see here. This is my future for the next 6 weeks. And I'm prepared to live in this contraption is what I call it. It's not a fashion statement. I have a nice little pillow here to keep my arm from moving my muscle here. This is what I'm working with. So if you don't like it, tough luck, because this is what I'm dealing with. I was told that I have to be in this thing for 6 weeks. And then I was told right before my surgery that you will not be able to drive for 6 weeks not because you can't drive with one arm, but because it's actually illegal for you to drive with one arm. And if you are involved in an accident, you could face a citation. So my friends, what I'm trying to tell you tonight is when your body says, ouch, you should listen and go to the doctor. Don't go to Arizona and go ride off on an ATV and have an adventure. Don't go zip lining. Don't go jogging. Go to the doctor and see what's wrong. And then the doctor will tell you what's wrong. He may not have to give you that gigantic needle that I got, or he may not have to cut your back open in order to get to your shoulder. But you will have the reassurance that you will have an answer as to what's probing you, and also you'll be back on your feet a lot quicker than I will. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Wesley Sherwood, in your speech, say what? I mean, that title really got me going. I was buckled up And I knew this was going to be a humorous speech. And sir, you did fantastic in that aspect for sure. So getting into it, in the beginning, you said, I got an interesting story for you. I mean, at that point, I'm listening. What's the interesting story? Tell me about it, all right? And then you also had an arm sling on. And that also got me interested. I'm like, what is the point of this prop? But to find out it wasn't really a prop, it was a real deal thing. That was kind of interesting to learn. I also thought it was pretty funny when you said your intuition told you, you're not getting old, you're just adventurous. That was very funny. I enjoyed that, sir. Thank you for that. I also liked how you related to males, saying that us males, we don't go to the doctor unless we're really broke, unless we're really hurting. And I feel that. I try to avoid the doctor myself unless it is a dire need. I like that relatability right there. I also enjoyed your dialogue between you and the doctor. You really showed your emotion well in that moment through your tone and the words you were using to describe. It was fantastic. I was really putting your shoes in that moment that you were describing how you felt in that conversation with the doctor. I also related when you said, all right, doctor, I see that you have this option of the surgery, but let me do my research and see what else I can find because I don't like that option. Let's see what else is out there. That's exactly what you did. I relate so much to that because, like I said, I want natural remedies too. I'm not first one to jump on operations either. I also like when you said, I'm going to get you high today when the anesthesiologist said that. That was that was pretty funny. I didn't expect that one. That was incredible. It really, the surprise of humor, fantastic. And your speech overall was easy to follow. I understood the whole story. I wasn't lost at any point. I also like in the ending, you said the take-home message was when your body says, ouch, go to the doctor. Simple, to the point, easy to remember. I like it. Some things we can maybe improve on. You said you hurt yourself when you did dips at the gym. Some people don't know what dips are, so maybe just running through a quick example, just showing it what a dip is or explaining it would help some people that aren't too savvy in the gym understand that one. And you also said sweating and perspiring. I would say that's pretty much the same thing. I would either pick perspiring or sweating to say in that sentence. And at the end, you said the purpose of your speech, but I didn't catch a memorable statement to leave me thinking at the end. I didn't catch it. Maybe you did say it, but I did not catch that. And to challenge yourself, I would say show some verbal excitement when talking about that humongous needle. I mean, just really get into it. Start jumping around, going crazy, go off the walls. That would really show your excitement better than the way that was shown in your speech. Overall, excellent job, Wesley. Very humorous speech. I hope to hear another one from you real soon.